I'm very proud to work at Monell. My name is Matthew Aquilino. I work in Ichiro Matsumoto's lab, studying fatty acid taste receptor mechanisms and itch receptor mechanisms. I have always wanted to study science, medicine. The first course that I took in grad school was a cellular neurophysiology course. In that course, we had a lecture that focused on the physiology of the senses. And I remember sitting in that class and thinking to myself, wow, how amazing would it be if I could find a way to study that someday. Lo and behold, the only research institute in the entire world dedicated to studying the chemical senses is in the city that I grew up in, and they were willing to hire me and kickstart my research career. I think learning about how humans and animals perceive the world around them and understand the world around them on a molecular and cellular basis was very energizing, and it combines so many of my interests: people, animals, cell biology, understanding how an ion crossing a membrane can cause us to feel and see. So much of human experience is, if not all of human experience, is walking around, looking around, feeling, seeing. Our senses contribute so much to the human experience. So learning how that works was very exciting. It seemed like divine intervention for me because I was interested in Monell, and Monell happened to be interested in me. Ichiro Matsumoto specifically was interested in hiring me. I wasn't interested in what anyone else was doing. I was interested in the person that became interested in me. So working for Ichiro was what I was excited about. Looking at his old research papers from when I was little, sorry, not to age Ichiro, but looking at his old research papers, he studied fish and wildlife that I was interested in studying. When I first came to Monell, I learned that there were people studying things that I didn't know were available to me, options that I did not know were available to me. And working for Ichiro has taught me a great deal about what it means to work hard, great integrity in your science, and to use sound science to pursue some sort of hypothesis or research interest. I've only ever been trained by Ichiro. When you're teaching someone how to do something, it's easy to give them the answer. It's more difficult to challenge them, give them the reason for the answer, and give them all of the necessary background for that answer to truly understand on a fundamental level what you're working on, why it's that way, and the underlying science to whatever question that you have. So someone who understands science as deeply as Ichiro, studying under them and working with them and being trained by them is immensely valuable and has contributed more to my life than just about anything besides my parents. Non-histamine-related itch is worth investing in because so many chemicals that we can experience on a daily basis through medications, through supplements, through our diet, or just being outside, can cause us to feel itch. Itch is poorly understood compared to many other research areas, and I think it's a worthwhile investment to invest our money, our time, and our efforts into understanding the misunderstood or the poorly understood. Chloroquine, which is a anti-malarial drug, which causes severe itch symptoms or itch side effects. Malaria is a deadly disease which kills approximately 400 to 500,000 people per year. And taking this drug can help alleviate symptoms of malaria. And people choose to forego or refuse to take this medication that is for a deadly disease because of the symptoms of itch, because of how unpleasant an experience it can be to feel a universal itch throughout your body. Itch and pain are inextricably woven together in somatosensory mechanisms. Pain is a global epidemic. So understanding the mechanisms of these somatosensory mechanisms in a world which experiences so much pain and does not have a great way to deal with it is a worthwhile place to put investment and time and effort. Between just the three of us, people always care when I talk about this stuff, and I'm always very surprised because to me, it's something that I feel is interesting to me. I'm always surprised when it's interesting to other people. I think what's interesting about my research and the research at Monell is that it's different. You don't always know somebody who studies the things that we study. Monell is studying unique, niche, offbeat topics. And I also think that is, Monell tends to attract people of those similar characteristics. And that's why I love Monell so much. But I think people like to learn about unique research areas. I think to the average person, the topics that I research and Monell researches are interesting because they are so quirky and so different and covering ground that somebody has to do it. I think my work could make the world a better place. I think I want to divide this into, because I study taste and itch. Taste is always going to be relevant to the human experience. We need to eat to survive. So studying taste and how taste mechanisms relate to human health and dietary decisions is always going to be a worthwhile endeavor. Whether it's my research or somebody else's research at Monell, studying taste is always going to be relevant. As it relates to itch, I think in studying itch, we have an opportunity to solve more problems and solve problems related to the human experience. Nobody likes to be itchy. And some people like to be itchy so little that they're not willing to take a life-saving drug against a deadly disease. And I think if we understand the mechanisms of itch, hopefully one day we will be able to maybe not solve the issue, but alleviate some of the worst side effects of drugs and medications and supplements that cause itch. I like problem solving because it feels like a puzzle, and so much of my job feels like we are solving a puzzle. We are constantly, unfortunately, exposed to a new issue that requires solving. It requires ruling things out, testing, hypothesizing within our own studies, and also problem solving is fun. Yes, working in a lab is definitely a constantly self-reinforcing. When a new issue arises and we finally figure it out, it's incredibly gratifying to solve the issue. It's incredibly gratifying to come across a new issue that needs solving. I think what interests me in research is not only the problem solving on a micro scale, but also a macro scale. The desire to problem solve to little tiny issues in the lab or to larger systemic or biological enigmas excites me a great deal. And the landscape of the research that Monell has done has changed so much even since I started here. And I'm just excited to see new breakthroughs and where they go from here. And I hope to be a part of it. Yeah. I think applying my interest in problem solving to these larger issues is what drives me. It's what makes me come to work every day, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and excited. I can count on maybe one hand how many days I did not want to come to work, which is the truth. And if you know anything about me, I'm the last person to say something like that. It's the truth. Yes, people want to talk about taste because it is so relevant to the human experience, eating, our diet, choices that we make multiple times a day. People conflate flavors and taste all of the time, and I have to explain to them that they are not the same thing. So that tends to be what people want to talk about. People want to talk about flavors and foods and how we perceive the different things that we eat. And maybe that's why people are so interested in talking about what I work on. And it's a testament to how important Monell's research is, and maybe explains why people are so eager to talk to me about the research that I do. What makes me proud of being a part of Monell is the people. Monell is full of so many interesting and fundamentally decent people with different backgrounds, different goals, different interests. And I've met some of my very favorite people on earth at Monell, and I'm very proud to work at Monell. But also, I'm very proud of the work that I do. It's a dream come true. If I could go back and tell elementary school Matt that he works in a lab doing research, I think he would be very, very proud and excited. I can thank Monell for that. Yeah, so I'm very proud to be a Monellian.